Good evening. Welcome on to the evening edition of From Day One. And just as in the afternoon, no sounds of Dominion tonight, we continue with the case of the sovereign citizen. Now, for those who were with us in the afternoon, you will notice a slight overlap of audio, as I did take it back about a minute or so, just to make sure anything that might have been missed in the last moment will get to be played.
I could not give them back to you verbatim.
Okay, so you were enforcing based on one principle, which is ignorance. But you were enforcing based on a legal definition. But you were presenting it in a layman's definition.
I do not believe that I was enforcing out of ignorance. No, that would not be accurate.
Okay, but you confessed that you don't know the legal definition.
I do not know. I cannot sit here and tell you the legal definition, no.
Can you please identify the victim of this crime? Objection, Your Honor.
Yes, the victim is me, and everyone watching this video
Who's lost a couple
damaged
hundred
mentally,
brain
and our
points.
collective IQ has lowered from listening to you ramble on about things you know nothing about. It's quite painful, actually.
Yes, sir, Mr. Valiant.
An arrest is an act of force, is that correct?
It can be, yes.
Please, if it was, I'd like to see some video.
It's an act of force, is that correct?
Yes, it can be.
And if done without the authority of law, that would be an act of kidnapping, is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor. He's a fucking moron.
And when that force is used without the authority of law, it is a crime, is that correct?
Yes.
Well, it's a good job the sergeant had the law on his side then, isn't it? I mean, we've all seen the arrest video. You were stopped for speeding and refused to identify for, 40 minutes? Which again, under revised statutes of Washington, you can be arrested for.
Thank you.
You justified that law enforcement should be held to the highest standards following the law. You recall that?
Yes.
Is it possible, without knowing the legal meanings of words backed by threats of violence, that you could be a danger to society without knowing the definitions? Objection. Sustained. We'll change that to a little more understandable. By enforcing laws containing words you do not know the meaning of makes you a danger to society, is that correct? Objection. Sustained. True or false? If we remove you, the crime goes away. Objection. Sustained. True or false? If we keep you in the story, the crime stays complete with the victim. Objection. True or false? You are an essential component for a crime that I'm accused of to exist. Objection. Sustained. You were prepared to smash out the window because I didn't pay the plaintiff money. Is that correct? Objection. Sustained. You were prepared to bust out the window and violently destroy my property because you wanted me to pay the plaintiff more money. Objection. Sustained. Move on to this line of question.
You know, there's a really easy way to avoid all the fines attached to these charges. And it's simple. Stop speeding, stop driving without registration, and start following the law like the rest of us. And you won't need to make up this alternate reality then. But I think you do all this because you enjoy the attention. Why else would you give the police a thumbs up while speeding past them? And then there's this court performance which you seem to be enjoying a bit too much. But that's just my opinion.
The basis of this crime is essentially I'm not doing anything which requires you to do everything. Is that correct?
No. Objections get
I don't understand your question. I'm sorry.
Basically, the crime says I willfully did something. You're on state's objecting to a discussion about the law. We're here at this point to discuss the facts. So I'll overrule the objection, Mr. Hayward. If you want to ask if you want to rephrase the question as to the crime charged here today. The crime that I'm being charged with today physically requires me to do what? To commit a crime.
When I made the traffic stop, the person that I make the traffic stop of is required to provide me with their driver's driver's license or form of ID, identify themselves basically, and then provide their vehicle registration certificate and their proof of liability insurance.
Okay, you just testified to a person. Did you have any evidence to support the belief that I was a person? Objection.
Oh, fuck
Sustained.
you.
You testified that I'm a man. You didn't say this applies to a man. Objection. Sustained.
Under Washington state law and federal law, you are defined as a person or individual, and no amount of word salad will change that. Remember what happened when David Hall tried this in Judge Hurley's courtroom? Yeah, it didn't work then, and it will not work now.
So basically, you confess that I do nothing and I'm accused of a crime.
By failing to provide the information to me, yes, you are committing a crime.
Okay, so doing nothing is committing a crime. Because that's basically just doing nothing.
In that case, yes.
Okay. Since all I have to do is nothing, that requires you to do everything. Is that correct? Objection. Same. Okay, true or false? I did nothing, you did everything, and I'm the one committing a criminal act. Is that correct?
Rephrase your question or ask it again, please.
Okay, true or false? I did nothing, you did everything, and I am the one committing the criminal act. Is that correct? I guess, Your Honor, the state, in thinking about this crime, it's a compound question. I think there are parts there that have been affected and have been sustained, parts that have been overruled, and now it's kind of just being thrown into one big question. Sustained, you can rephrase your question. Okay, true or false? For this crime to exist requires me to do nothing, and me to do everything. Your Honor. Okay, rephrase your question. And this is short, so true or false? All I have to do to be accused of being a criminal, taken all the way to the jury, is absolutely nothing. Is that true or false? Objection. Sustained. Okay, we've already established that I've done nothing. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say that's correct. I would say that you did not provide the required information that I asked you to.
Okay, so I did nothing. Is that correct?
Well, that is actually doing something. You made a choice not to.
So, again, we're back to doing nothing. Is that correct? Your Honor, objection.
Asked and answered.
God, this is painful. When you're driving on a public road, you have certain responsibilities, like observing and following the rules and laws of the road. One of those laws is staying within the speed limit. Other laws include handing over your license, registration and insurance to a law enforcement officer when asked. It's not complicated, and playing word salad games to trip up this sergeant will not change those laws or stop them being applied to you.
The identification that Trooper Sherman showed you, that's exhibit, that's the one with the ID on it, that's part of the record. Objection. I guess I don't. Which ID are we referring to? I don't think so.
Roger, the problem with this ID is it proves I'm outside of their jurisdiction, and they know that, and they can't have this ID come onto the record, or the whole case is gone.
Well, Your Honor, this hasn't been admitted. There's been no testimony about this identity. Want to ask? Sorry, Merle, about that. Yes, this is the picture that Trooper Sherman showed you as my identity. It was kind of big.
Can I see that, please?
Now, if Mike Merrill was telling the truth, he would have said he never got any ID at that point.
No, this wasn't provided to me. No.
What ID did Trooper Sherman show you?
There was no ID that he showed me on that stop.
Well, how did he have my information to get to you?
He visually identified you, and he was able to go back and his information from his prior traffic stop with you and confirm who you were.
Okay, because I got it on video of him telling you, here's objection, Your Honor.
And now, here is the video they would not allow in court. They did not want anybody, especially a jury, to see.
Here's his form of ID that I took a picture of.
Excuse me? Excuse me, what was that again?
Here's his form of ID that I took a picture of.
Mike, what are you doing? You agreed law enforcement should be held to the highest standard, but you broke the law before you claim to uphold the law. And you come into court and swear to tell the truth, and then you lie.
Oh, I guess he showed them his American national ID and they rightfully dismissed it because it's fake and meaningless. You can't provide a fake ID and then claim you've identified yourself. That's not how that works.
For now.
Okay. So at this point in time, your identification is based on hearsay.
The identification.
Objection. Sorry. Sustained.
Well, so is your definition of the word traffic and person, so you've got no room to talk. But one of the officers on that stop already knew who you were from a previous encounter, so it's not really hearsay, is it?
How are we able to confirm that you
Wait, what if the officer was a female? Wouldn't it be hearsay?
saying that I am this person?
Hashtag hearsay.
Your Honor, I guess state's objecting is beyond the scope of. I'll overrule. You can answer that question.
So you never provided me with, you verbally identified yourself or provided me with any identification as to who you were.
So the basis of your understanding of who you were working with is based on hearsay.
Hearsay.
Yes.
But you're wrong.
It was based on Trooper Sherman's identification of you from his prior contact with you.
It's hearsay.
Hearsay.
It was first-hand information from Trooper Sherman.
Which is hearsay. To Your Honor, I would object. I mean, there's a legal definition, right? Sustained.
Yeah, with all the traffic stops you have under your belt, I wouldn't be surprised if every police officer in Washington knew who you were. So it's not hearsay if they recognize you and then can verify your details on the police database.
So he didn't show you any form of ID that he previously took a picture of.
Oh, I see now. Mike Merrill knows that there is video evidence and proof that he was shown that ID. And his story changes now, as you can watch and see. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby present to you Kidnap County Sergeant Mike Merrill, getting ready to lie in a court and not do a very good job at it and fly by the seat of his pants. Here we go.
I don't think that there was no actual government issued identification that I was ever provided.
No government issued identification. So there was some other kind of identification.
I don't remember exactly what he said that he had contacted you, and I don't remember if it was what sort of paper he had or what he had printed out on his MCT, but there was never any ID that I was provided.
I can go print it for record for you. Here's his form of ID that I took a picture of.
Okay, but you just mentioned it wasn't a state ID. So, Your Honor, I guess now that we've gone through several questions of objecting as well as sustained.
Well, I didn't see any story change there, any lies, or anyone flying by the seat of their pants. He said he didn't remember seeing your fake ID. That's not him lying, that's him not recollecting seeing it. But remember, there were 3 officers on that stop as far as I know, so how do we know it was Mike Merrill he was showing the fake ID to in that heavily edited clip? I'm just saying.
Okay. So the state has provided discovery video. Objection.
Denied.
Question. That was quick. The state has provided discovery video that has Trooper Sherman on it telling objection. Mike Merrill, here's the ID. Your Honor, he's attempting to testify to something that's not currently sustained.
Here's his form of ID that I took a picture of.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are feeling a slight sensation of the urge to vomit, you are not alone. What do these criminal foreign agents really think is going on? Well, let's find out.
Yeah, let's not, because I've had just about enough of this nonsense, but also because he shows the face of one of the jurors, and he has the nerve to talk about honesty. And my urge to vomit comes from your creepy voiceover, which sounds oddly terrifying, if I'm being honest. Okay, so we never get to hear the verdict, but I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say he was found guilty because let's face it, he was. He's been driving illegally and speeding to get the attention of the police for years. It's a really weird way for a grown man with kids to behave. If he had been found not guilty, then he would be shouting it from the rooftops, and the video wouldn't be titled Kangaroo Court. Anyway, if you got through to the end of this video, then I applaud you. You are definitely no lightweight. Thank you also to my channel members and patrons for your...
Thank you, Van, for bringing us along. With that, we'll bring the evening to a close. Of course, more lovely Hero Wars, more Island Farm Twonka, and of course, more time with you and I as we quickly approach 50,000 view threshold. Till then, please help us get there by viewing more, having friends, and subscribing to help us get those red presents into your lovely, lovely hands, and for Google to put us on the algorithms. Until then, have a great evening. And I do thank you for being with us from day one. We will finish this out with a little fight out in the countryside. This fight will have the Sons of Dominion with us. Enjoy. So, as we said, thank you for watching. Have a great day here from day one.